saying that Agar is from Midian, and that's where Mount Sinai is. Therefore, the Jews follow the law of Moses that was delivered in Mount Sinai. Therefore, they are it's very clever verbal gymnastics. You see how quick he is? That's how fast he is. But see, that's why I compare him to Goebbels, because that's the kind of thing Goebbels did. He would whip up anything like that in the interest of the thing he was trying to achieve, making the people hate or go away from something. So yeah, you see, Agar is Mount Sinai, because he knows that Moses met her in Midian, and she was the daughter of the priest of Midian, which is in Sinai. That's Mount Sinai, and therefore you see it's the law of Moses. So what are they slaves to? They're slaves to the law of Moses. We New Pauline people, we're free of the law of Moses. We're free of the law. We are free, and therefore we're children of the free wife, Sarah. Therefore, we're the descendants of Sarah, and they're descendants of the slave woman. He ends up with a quote from the Bible. Therefore, cast out the slave woman. Therefore, cast out the slave woman. This is his dialectic. This is his polemic. So when I tell you I have a problem with that, I mean, you can perhaps understand why. Let me just keep you. I want to finish up because time is wasting. I just want to finish this because we have to go. But going back to where we were, I don't know how we got off on that subject, but getting back to where we were, we get down these two brothers arguing. And then the one brother, I know how we got it. Because Herod's policy was to be all things to all people. So was Paul's policy. And then you look surprised, so I tried to illustrate it with these examples. I think Paul is a descendant of the Herodian family. I argue that in my books. Michael Page and the Dead School Reception has picked that up from me. And one of the students in one of these classes pointed that out to me. In Romans, as I think I told you last time, Paul sends greetings to his kinsman Herod. The littlest Herod, Herodian. It's in Romans 16, you'll see it. Send my greetings to my kinsman, the littlest Herod. I always thought Paul was from the Herodian family. And now from that moment on, I was convinced of it. And I do feel that what he shows is the Herodian ethos in his mind. He thinks he's Jewish. Just like the Herodians thought that they had become Jewish, but they were Jewish. Not that being Jewish is great. Most people think it's a thing to suffer from. But he isn't Jewish as a native-born Jew. So he's got all these complexes in relation to this that will come out. Let's finish this up. These two brothers fight. The defeated brother brings in, through Herod's family, the Romans. Pompey then comes and storms Aristobulus' partisans who are in the temple. The year is 63 BC. Aristobulus is sent in chains to Rome, where he stays under Roman control for another 15 years or so. When Julius Caesar fights the war with Pompey, he frees Aristobulus and sends him back. But the supporters of Pompey, the people who later assassinate Julius Caesar, killed Aristobulus on his way back. And later on, it's so beautiful passage in Josephus, the Romans sent Aristobulus back to Palestine in honey. That is to preserve his body. They have it in a thing of honey that they sent it back for burial. But he was a prisoner in Rome, killed by the other party in support of the Pompey party, the people who fought Julius Caesar. In the meantime, the Romans, 63, take control, and their first governor is Herod's father. And because of his services to Rome, Herod's father becomes a Roman citizen and his family in perpetuity. It's all in Josephus. So that's really very interesting because Paul says he's a Roman citizen. That was not something that's given out by accident. That's another factor that makes me suspect that he may be an Herodian, because all of them would have had Roman citizenship. So he's the first Roman governor. Then we get a couple of years there where Herod is fighting with the various Jewish groups and so on. He's governor of Galilee for a while. The Jews want him tried before the Sanhedrin for killing revolutionary leaders. Finally, when the civil war breaks out between Octavian and Antony, Herod jumps to Octavian's side. Octavian sends him back to Palestine with an army of Roman troops in 37 BC. And with an army of Roman troops, he storms Jerusalem a second time and puts himself in power as king. Roman appointed king of Palestine. So that's right where we start. Herod is not a Jewish king, first of all. And second of all, he's not a popular Jewish king. He's imposed on the Jews from outside, and that is the background of the story of the birth of Jesus, where Herod is trying to kill him, according to the Gospel. Sorry to take us along, you guys. I will not get off the subject again. We're going to move on now. Much more. Stick to our thing. I apologize. Put these things on.